Hello, Sweet Tooth here. Hope your day is going well. Hakuna Matata. Gonna play some Eternal Darkness on Gamecube.
Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting.
Edgar Allan Poe. Nintendo.
You too will come to understand fear as I have.
Eternal Darkness. Sanity's Requiem. A game that most definitely will mess with you. I wonder if I still have my saves. I do. It's from a long time ago. Technically, every single playthrough that you come into Eternal Darkness, you would pick up one of three artifacts: red, green, blue. They each go to a different kind of deity, and there is a purple one. Purple one's kind of like one that's killed during the time that you pick one of these other artifacts. Anyways, unless you know about the secret end. Anyways, spoilers. I don't know if it's a spoiler, it's like an old game. Anyways, every time you do one of these artifacts, one of them is going to glow. That's the one that you're picked so far. At the end of it, they will be solid when you've actually completed that route entirely. So, right now, like, this one, I probably picked blue. But this one, like, I was on blue, but I finished red and green. Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem, does mess with the player in many, many, many different ways. It is supposed to mess with your sanity. It is a game about messing with sanity. And it's a horror game, of course. Psychological. Pretty infamous, though, for what it does. I could probably overwrite this one, but I don't really want to overwrite this one. Like, I feel like in this playthrough, I'm going to do only one of the routes. I'll show what happens. I'll load this other save and then show the ending on each one of them. Like, the difference between these, other than the monsters or something, or how the monsters act, or look, or behave around you, like what they damage or how they'll attack you, is the cutscenes. Because the monsters that attack all belong to a certain deity, the one that you picked. So, if you pick green, you're gonna see green's monsters. Like, its summons, all the summonings that it can bring back from its own realm. If you picked red, you would see all the summonings of the other ones. Like, maybe I'll do playthroughs of the other, DTs, but I'm only gonna pick one for now because you'd have to play the entire game 3 different times. And I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if I have the time to do that, or the patience, because I've already played this game like multiple times. I mean, unless it's like really wanted. But I do want to show the game. The game, even though it's dated, I mean, I think it still holds up. We'll have to see. So, let's get into it. You know the one thing about Gamecube? Oh yeah, the noise changes. The one thing about the Gamecube back in the day is that data was saved on the memory cards in blocks, and how much memory the card entirely had. So some games would use up a lot of blocks, or use up a lot of memory. And back when it was only like 4 blocks, 8 megabytes of memory or something like that, it was a big deal back in the day. Like, really hard to just keep a lot of saves. I do have this like 64 MB memory card that has like 128 blocks or something like that, and it really helps. Anyways, let's get into it. Yeah, you have previously completed Eternal Darkness, following alignments Chaturga, Ulyath, and Zelotath. Do I want to? Yeah, let's just do it.
Flesh, bone, bound together with the oddest magical incantation. This wretched book is where it all began so long ago. Before time, before humanity.
Wait a second. Let me exit out of this. I don't think it kept like the subtitles on. I can't pause. When you get into that scene, it has a significance. You can't pause during that scene, unfortunately. Subtitles are off. Turn it back on. Widescreen. Well, it's not really widescreen. It still looks square.
flesh, bone, bound together with the oddest magical incantation. This wretched book is where it all began so long ago, before time, before humanity. I am Dr. Edward Roivas. I am a clinical psychologist. I am also dead. This is not my story, nor even the story of the Roivas family. It is the story of humanity. Like it or not, believe it or not, as you will. Your perceptions will not change reality, but simply color it. Humanity has been on the edge of extinction for 2 millennia, ignorant of so much and dependent on so few. The Guardians grow restless. Their time once again near. Whether by fate or misfortune, my family has crossed their path, and they didn't take kindly to it. Their attention turns to my granddaughter, for she is the last of my line, and the last hope for humanity.
And this was very corny on the opening. It gets much better though.
Hello?
Miss Alexandra Roivas?
Yeah, who's this?
This is Inspector LaGrasse of the Rhode Island Police. I'm sorry to disturb you, but there's been an accident with your grandfather.
I'll be on the next flight out.
Ah, Miss Roivas, I'm pleased to meet you. I trust you had a pleasant trip?
Yes, I suppose so, considering.
Yes, my condolences. This is most unpleasant. It's a shame we couldn't meet under brighter circumstances.
Yes, it is. Can we get this over with, please?
Of course. This way. But I must warn you, it's not a pleasant sight. I'm afraid there's not much to see. Miss Roivas, is that your grandfather, Edward?
Yes, it's him. He's wearing our family ring. I don't understand. Why are you showing me this? Can't you check dental records or something? What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry. It's my job, lady. You're the only living relative, and no, we can't check dental records. There's no head. Now, none of this makes sense. There's no sign of intrusion, and there was certainly a lot of force used here. I have never seen anything like this in my 20 years on the force. We have no evidence except for the body, and what's left doesn't say much. We don't have a single clue.
Well, you better find out who did this. I'm not leaving Rhode Island until you do. There must be some clue in this old mansion revealing what happened. I want answers.
So do I. I wish I had some.
Shocked by her grandfather's mysterious death, and frustrated at the incompetence of the local police, Alex vows to uncover the truth. She decides to search the mansion, the place where Edward conducted his research. If there was a tie to his past and possibly a tie to his murderer, it would be here. Alright. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. The one thing I'm going to do is turn up the brightness somewhat. Because I'm pretty sure it's going to be hard for anyone to see whatever. Nope, still needs brightness. This game is very dark. Hopefully that's better. Now, if you pay attention to anything inside the house, over the course of the game, everything will change. Everything changes to a slightly more dark aspect the more you play Eternal Darkness. It's supposed to mess with your sanity, but also show how things are evolving. So right now, it says, the last week rays of sunlight fight the shroud of darkness. A lends an eerie feeling to the last week's events. As the sun sets, Alex will be alone in this house, with nothing but the spirits of old for company. It's setting the tone for what's about to happen, and it's pretty deep. If you take it into context. Okay, so X is to do that. Try to figure out how to run. There we go. Running's very important. I think? Can't remember. Portraits of the ancestral Roivus line. The foyer walls. Their faces reveal a dark, brooding edge. There is something about each one that gives the viewer an unsettling feeling. You do have stamina, so don't run too much. A beautiful carriage clock. The hands appear to be stuck, yet the clock continues to tick, with the time permanently set to 3:33. 3:33, if you ever known into like mythology and demons and stuff, it's a very important time. There is a key in the back of the clock, presumably for winding it. Alex picks up the desk clock and pulls the key from it. However, there is something odd about the key. It isn't for winding at all. It looks like a dresser key. If you notice in every single picture of the Roivus line, the darkness is encroaching on them, like as though there are hands. See, that's not me dunking. That's her doing it by herself. I'm not pressing the button. Oh, it's me. It's me lightly pressing it. Okay. A wooden plaque is fastened to the door, taking the place of the lock. A colored sigil is carved into the wood above a wide slot. The slot is just wide enough to insert a narrow blade. If you follow her ahead, just like in the Silent Hill games, the early ones, not 1, but number 2, and so forth, and Resident Evil, she looks in the direction of an item that would be of interest, rather than highlighting the item. A grand piano stands here, awaiting the hands of a decent musician. Unfortunately, Edward never really lived up to that description, and as such the piano fell into disuse. The illustration features a collection of strange line designs related to each other in a cyclical manner. There appears to be some significance to it, but it isn't particularly evident. You can punch stuff too. So if you get angry, you just go punch a wall. I know where to go, I'm just exploring in order to show the mansion. In the warm glow of candlelight, the Roivas family tree hangs from the wall. Shadows flitter across its surface, obscuring the detail. If one looks closely, the family's secrets are revealed. This looming grandfather clock seems to stand ominously in the corner, gazing on this empty room with an almost patriarchal air. $333. aged page set inside a glass frame hangs up from the wall. An insane scribbling covers the page, incomprehensible to Alex. Perhaps if Alex had some kind of tome, it could be deciphered. This Gothic cathedral is silhouetted against a stark light. The image is vicious and devoid of subtlety. Every brushstroke echoes the spikes of the architecture, imbuing a violent feeling as though the building itself is a harsh imposition on reality, a grim picture indeed. This looks like some kind of mask. The face is serene and composure with a faint hint of a smile, tugging at the corners of the mouth and eyes, closed in deep meditation. I don't know how you see that. I just see a face that's like either snoring or screaming or yelling or something. A painting of a jungle-shrouded building. It seems to be a temple in Asia, perhaps from Thailand or Cambodia. This is a bizarre drawing of a cyclopean city. Its immense architecture bathed in a natural fog. The detail is incredible. As Alex studies it, she can almost imagine the city's inhabitants. An ancient Roman weapon, a gladius, is on display above the fireplace mantle, another token of eclectic justice. Eclectic. That's a big word. Strong word. I don't think anybody knows what eclectic is. I don't even know what it is. Anyways, a diabolic drawing of a stack of human bodies, each one cemented into place. What twisted psyche could have executed this drawing? Though disturbing, it is meticulously rendered down to the subtlest detail. The precise anatomy of fractured bones and the convolutions of spines and ribs entwine into a mesmerizing sight. Sure. A small shrine of candles. Their placement appears to be very deliberate, matching the etchings on the table and the wall's illustration. The candles are unlit. A large leather-bound antique book rests upon the cluttered desk.
I had no knowledge of what was to come, nor did I care. How the knowledge changed me, it will also change you. As you read this, you will come to learn fear as I have. You too will come to understand, or you will perish. To think that once I could not see beyond the veil of our reality, to see those who dwell behind. My life now has purpose, for I have learned the frailty of flesh and bone. I was once a fool. Viris quies candamest, viris conservandae, facusatis aquae sumat, et animus eorum confirma, pugna huis diasit modo prima multarum, si inceptum conficiamus.
Quam primum, Centurio Augustus. I would like to compliment you once more on your battle tactics. Our enemies did not have a chance. Do you believe that it really exists, Centurion?
I do not doubt our Emperor's beliefs, or his orders. But if we are to retrieve the artifact, then we must be strong and patient.
The dais on the floor is finely crafted, inlaid with gold and gems that Pius can't identify. A strong linear design is situated in the middle and is equally unknown to the Roman soldier. The interesting part about the tome, the eternal tome, is that any language in the world is interpreted for the reader. That's why it showed the change. That they were speaking in Italian, Roman, and it translated it for Alex. And also when you play in the experience of another person, it will only show you descriptions that they themselves would have been able to figure out, and they're basically memories. The shaft descends toward the next lower level. A ladder is situated on one side of the shaft. A ladder leads into the dank heart of the labyrinth. Danger lurks beneath, yet Pius' courageous resolve does not buckle. Finishing an enemy is how you get your sanity back, when sanity starts playing a role. Yeah. A strange granite block lies on the floor. as well as prominently decorated with a strong, strange lined symbol carved into the granite. Cut into the wall is a square hole lined with scratches as though something has been removed from it. This room has a lot of significance. Pius, you must prove your worth by destroying the statue. If you don't destroy the statue of yourself, you're not worthy. In other words, in order to proceed, you have to destroy the image of yourself. So considering the rest of the game, just remember this. What happens? There's also a significance to the type of zombie that Pius is killing down here. There is a significance to all this. A button attached to a small pylon softly illuminates the room. A bizarre energy seems to radiate from it. Should Pius push the button? Resembling a warped angel shaped from dark green emerald hovers effortlessly above the pedestal. A strange sculpture resembling a red-clawed worm mysteriously floats above the pedestal. Shaped like a delicate dome, a pale blue statue floats gracefully above the pedestal.
eons have passed since then, and I have learned much. I was once as naive as a child, but now my mind is sharp. With the power of Xelatoth, I can now read the thoughts of others and make them raving mad with a mere suggestion. Face me, and you shall surely perish.
Tome of Eternal Darkness. I guess before it seemed I started a whole new thing with the blue relic. Got a weapon. Now I can stab things. Strangely, with the Tome of Eternal Darkness in her possession, Alex can read the page. It is a chapter from the tome itself. The Binding of the Corpse God.
I cannot say what was the true beginning, nor am I sure of its end. So perhaps here is the best place to start. I am reminded of ideas I first encountered in Sir James George Fraser's book, The Golden Bough, a study in magic and religion. We are overwhelmed by a very human need to weave a web of meaning where there may be none. Since time immemorial, ancient peoples have dressed up their lack of knowledge as gods and demons. I have discovered that sometimes the fates of gods and mortals intertwine, and legends are born.
Thy time is done, great ancient. Forever in shadow will you be master of chaos, and to fade to nothing in obscurity will be thy fate. My master has planned many millennia for this day. It is the true chaos of all things that you now must be entombed amongst the beings
of flesh and bone. You have a great monument here, Mount Turok. It is a pity that no one will ever recognize it as yours. May the darkness claim thee, roaring chaos and damned beast! No longer will thy reign be kept over the ancients you have kept imprisoned. Thou hast seen the last of this world.
Not even these mythical fables can keep me amused. There has to be something to do around here. I only wish something that fantastic and of higher purpose could happen to me.
Be careful what you wish for. The door is firmly closed, sealing the temple. Perhaps there's another exit somewhere inside? A triangular design is carved onto the floor. The etched grooves are filled with colored sand. These symbols appear to be related to each other, with one having precedence over another. Very important. Each one of these symbols overrides the other. In other words, a deity is stronger. A deity is strong against another one. Red is stronger than green, green is stronger than blue, blue is stronger than red. The one that's in the middle, the purple one, is Mantarok, the one that was being killed. Mantarok is pretty much poison. Poison across millennia. Poison across realms. If you think about poison inherently and what it does for deconstruction and changing and stuff, that's what Mantarok is. They're all dangerous, all four of them. A statue of a goddess delicately sculpted from sandstone. It casts an alert eye over everyone who enters the temple. There's a strange necklace around its neck. Was this the one that, like, closes the door? Put that back down. I usually save on another slot. Just in case I didn't really intend to start another character. Wait a second. Is there no place on the left side? Yeah, there is. Let's go this way. Engraved on the floor is a striking design featuring the sun sinking below the edge of the world. The design on the wall appears to depict a time of day. Perhaps the candles do too? Would that be a coincidence? You can just back out of the room. Blue zombie. Get it? Blue relic, blue zombie. Now what kind of zombie was Pius fighting? Regular zombie or a purple? Mantarok? Mantarok's purple. Anyways, when located by creatures, the sanity loss occurs causing a decrease in the level of the sanity meter and the character to pulse green. Beware! Sanity loss affects perception and eventually health. Yep. You'll start to hallucinate if your sanity's low. Actually, the more your sanity is lower, the more you hallucinate. Doesn't really have to be a 0. In fact, there are some hallucinations that will happen even if your sanity is 100%. And that depends on the character. The character themselves might have hallucinations. Performing a finishing move on a creature recovers sanity. I'm gonna whack your back. Whack your back. So it goes down a little bit, but you gotta go on the other side in order to do that one too. Oh, by the way, each one of these tiles are different. Striking design featuring a brightly burning sun. This temple has a lot of significance. Do they come alive now? No? Okay. I thought they did. Guess not. This way you have a necklace that can heal. Striking design featuring the sun rising above the edge of the world. Which is the strongest one? And regenerates. Notice that takes 2 hits. And still not dead. And will regenerate. Small pedestal covered with decorative etching stands before the wall. The blowgun upon it must have some special significance for it to be the focal point of this display.
A secret passage in the temple.
A green zombie. distract them and keep them from hurting the guard. The guard will then help you. The guard is grateful for Elia saving his life. In return, he offers to repair Elia's broken weapon as a gesture of thanks. Now look what he does. Is that weird? The guard resumes his duty, seemingly no worse for wear for his recent brush with death. Kinda like it just happens. Even that weird? You can't really get past this. Let my sanity go down a little bit. That's fine. So yeah, there's blood on the wall now because of my sanity. The mural depicts a skeletal demon befriending the ancient Khmer people by denouncing one of their fertility gods. No? Okay. Oh, maybe there was. Let's run for it. This mural depicts one of the ancient Khmer deities being tortured and killed by a skeletal demon.
Stop! Don't go near it!
So, you are reduced to feeding on flesh and bone, Mantarok. How the mighty have fallen. You will surely fester, for millennia to come. A slow and torturous fate for thee. You had best leave, young fool, or you will find yourself as food for the dead god.
You are one of the chosen many, flesh and blood. It is now your destiny to fight the eternal darkness. I give you a gift in return for an obligation. The gift is your life, sweet dancer. The obligation is this. You hold one of Mantarok's hearts, the essence of the corpse god, the sun that is a source of great power. From those people, you must defend it, lest they use it to destroy what little brightness your world has left in it. Guard it well.
A door of formidable size seals the vault. A stylized design resembling the creature that dwells within the room is carved into the stone. Here we go, backtrack a little bit. There's a hole in a device as though something can be inserted. Perhaps a key or a lever. It's not really that long for this one. It's kind of like an intro into stories.
should have run. Instead, you will die. Where is the essence of Mantarok? Where is it? I will not ask again, child. Very well, then. You will succumb to the horrors of oblivion.
A small shrine of candles. Their placement appears to be very deliberate, corresponding to etchings on the table and an illustration upon the wall. Some of the candles have been lit. With the correct sequence of candles being lit, a hidden panel opens. There is a message tube inside. An antique leather-bound message tube, the kind used to transport sealed message scrolls. It appears to be unopened. There might be something inside. Suspicions of conspiracy.
Your presence is welcome, Majesty. As always, I am honored.
Our dealings are a pleasure to us both, then. He lies. As do we all. What is this flaw you wish to discuss with us?
My concern is with the other ancients. Ulyaoth, Shaturga. Should they unite with Mantarok, they would doubtlessly possess enough power to vanquish even thee.
As darkness abhors light, and light abhors dark, the others will not, cannot join forces. Mantarok will be bound, and the others will sink into insanity when I return. As has been foretold.
I was unaware.
There is much you do not know. And much you never will. Be certain to retrieve Mantarok's essence. It is necessary to cement our place in your world.
Then what of Charlemagne the Frank? What do you intend for him?
The Frank is an instrument of light. He seeks to unite Europe under his banner.
With this in place, my guardians will be hard-pressed to perform the functions you require.
For your own schemes, Pius. Think of your future.
Then Charlemagne will be removed from the picture.
Make sure he is dead. Or insane. Or perhaps one, then the other. Just make sure he is removed from power.
Of course. He is as good as dead.
After the chapter page is removed, the message tube is no longer needed. Alex discards it. I'm going to cut the video here because it's getting really long. I want to thank you for watching. Feel free to leave a comment. Hope you have yourself a good day, and this is Sweet Tooth, signing off. Love you.